Hello, good morning. Hello everybody. Welcome to our regular Saturday. Nice to see you all again. I'm just gonna, oh my goodness, I'm so much quicker at this now. Hold on a sec while I just get my screen. I seem to have gone live much quicker today. I'm just gonna get myself organised before I start talking, so then I don't get quite so distracted. I'm trying not to get distracted anyway. How are you all? Did you all have a lovely day yesterday? Did you all have lovely BE Day celebrations? We're just continuing it today because any excuse to dress up and have a lovely time. I'm just going to scroll down because I think then I'll be able to see who's there. So if you're there, do say hello, do like and give me some thumbs up so I know you're there.
Oh, Marilyn's here and Margaret and Sally Camp.
Oh, I can see it.
You can see it now.
I'm getting much quicker. Morning Marilyn, morning Margaret, morning Sally. Oh, and morning Sally as well. Lovely to see you all today. So how are you all? Have you all had a lovely week? What did you do yesterday? Did you get dressed up? Did you make bunting? I had to make bunting this morning because I had some made, but it wasn't enough to hang across the back here. So I had little bits and pieces. So I quickly put them all together and made some extra bunting today so that we could have something behind us. Really enjoyed watching everybody dressing up yesterday. It was really lovely. Sally had an afternoon socialising at distance with scones and jam and cream. Oh, how lovely. I went up to Midhurst yesterday to do swapping of morning Jane, to swap scrubs and to pick up some haberdashery, and popped in to see Victoria at Bloomsbury Square just to pick up some scrubs from her as well. And she was all dressed up as a land girl. Looked fantastic, and bunting everywhere. Gave me some scones, which was very nice. Thank you, Victoria. Morning, Suzanne. Oh, you've got Liberation Day there. Oh, so you've got more celebrations today. Oh, that's lovely. I think it's lots of. I think the whole weekend. I think we should celebrate all weekend. I think it's a lovely thing to do. Morning, Jilly. You delivered your scrubs this morning. Morning, Catherine. What was just before it disappears? Oh goodness. Catherine's daughter made, as part of a team, that made 500 sets of scrubs at Royal Free Hospital. That's fantastic. Wow, that's amazing.
Margaret made 6 meters of bunting.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. And you had pins. I think the comments have just disappeared.
Oh, Pat and Suzanne Castle are here.
Morning, Pat. Morning, Susan. Oh, you had pins in the street. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's really nice. When I was driving back from Midhurst, I could see all the bunting yesterday. It was really nice. It was such a lovely day. Lovely day again today, isn't it? Really lovely. So are you doing anything today? You've got more celebrations today? I'm just going to be out in the garden. It's a really lovely day for that, isn't it, as well, today? So what else have you been up to? This week, what we've been up to, we've been filming more of the couture class. Morning, Wendy. Oh, afternoon, sorry. Afternoon. You're quite correct. It is afternoon. Yeah, Sally makes it. Morning, Maggie. Sally, it's great fun making bunting. I really love making bunting. I do the edges of mine with the rolled hem on the overlocker, rolled hem, so it's really nice and neat. And then you can see that one's done in red. Look, small talks. I used to make bunting for all occasions. It's always handy. I've got Christmas bunting, Easter bunting, Halloween bunting, any excuse.
Love a bit of bunting.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. Good way of using up the scraps as well. Oh, Susan, you had Pims as well. An afternoon tea. I've got my nice cup and saucer here. Although there's not much tea in this cup and saucer. You know me, I like a mug of tea. Morning, Coral. Nice to see you.
Oh, Pat's been making masks.
Oh, did you use my pattern?
And yeah, she did.
Oh,
and
she did.
2 blouses.
Wow, that's really good.
Suzanne had a street party. Susan,
it's
even.
So lovely. Oh, thank you, Margaret. Yeah, we did a one-to-one, didn't we, earlier this week? We did lots of pattern. We spent ages doing pattern alterations and having a catch-up as well. Yeah, that was great. I'm glad it worked. I'd like to see if you remade the twirls for those and if all those alterations we did really worked, because that was great. There's lots of little bits. We did things like moving the fullness from necklines and armholes and moving darts, all that sort of thing. So that was good. That was really good. So yeah, we've been working lots of filming on the Couture jacket this week because we had to do buttons, buttonholes and trims, so lots of little technical bits for that. So that took lots of time there. You might have seen my post yesterday about getting ready for doing hand stitched buttonholes. So they are very rewarding, but you've got lots of practice to get a good hand stitched buttonhole. But I've got lots of tips for anyone who's doing the jacket. Lots of tips for that. What else have we been doing? Oh yes, we thought, yeah, like I said, any excuse to dress up today. So today I am wearing the Till the Sun Goes Down dress. Wendy's saying if people don't approve of bunting, then we don't approve of them. Quite right. I remember you making lots of bunting for your daughter's wedding, Wendy. That was, yeah, you must have lots of stock of bunting. Yeah, this neckline, Julie, yeah, thank you. This is the Till the Sun Goes Down Hepburn shirtwaister. So it's a really pretty dress. You can't really see, but this goes into a point at the back. It's really pretty, and it's supposed to have sleeves, but I made this for a wedding nearly 2 years ago now, actually, so I decided to make it sleeveless. Morning, Charlie. Oh, you're watching from the garden. Well, that's nice. Very nice watching from the garden.
We should have filmed in the garden.
We should have filmed in the garden, yeah. We might do that one if this weather stays nice. Susan bought the Amelie dress. Oh, God, that'd be nice to see that made up, Susan. Yeah, the Hepburn shirtwaist, it's a really pretty dress until the sun goes down. It's supposed to have sleeves and it can have a cuff on it, but because I was making it for a wedding, I decided to make it sleeveless. And it's got a sash. This fabric is also from Till the Sun Goes Down as well, their elderflower pattern fabric. It's got a sash made in the same fabric, and it's got pockets as well, so all good dresses have pockets. This is a silk viscose fabric, so it's really lovely to wear. Yeah, I love this dress. It's very pretty, and I normally wear it for Good of Revival as well, with a big petticoat underneath it. So it's a great one. Talking of Till the Sun Goes Down patterns, they have actually this week they've just released some of their patterns on PDF version. Hi Janet, what have you made? Oh, I made your first set of scrubs. Well done. That's great. It's really rewarding making the scrubs, I have to say. I think I delivered about 20 pairs yesterday. Which are going to care homes, so that's great. Yeah, so this, so Till the Sun Goes Down, sorry, I'm so easily distracted, aren't I? They've released some of their patterns onto PDF, particularly their blouse patterns, and if you go onto their website, you'll see which ones they've got, which means you can print at home, and you've got lots of variations as well, so have a look at their patterns. Their blouses are really pretty, all, if you don't know Till the Sun Goes Down, they're all vintage inspired patterns, and she also designs her own fabrics. So lovely, lovely fabrics, perfect for the patterns that she's got. Lots of them are on silk. So what have you been doing, Suzanne? Homeschooling. Oh, you're in a bubble now. Yes, because some of your lockdown was raised, wasn't it, on Guernsey? So that's great. You can actually see more of your family, which would be really nice. We're looking forward to that happening here. Fingers crossed for tomorrow, but we'll see. And did you finish the assembly line skirt? Because that looked really nice with the pleats. I don't know anyone that's actually made that skirt. I think I was working with it with Madeline, but we hadn't got very far. And the trapezette dresses. Oh, I haven't seen that one either. I look forward to seeing those. I like looking at all your pictures of things you've been making on the Meet Her Sewers page. So yeah, keep posting pictures and let me know what you're making. See, I really like the Till the Sun Goes Down patterns. I've made several of her dresses, the pleat front dress, the Molly dress, and we normally run a vintage sewing school in June or July where we make dresses ready for revival using her patterns. I've made quite a few of them, and I don't know what's going to happen with that class at the moment. It'll probably be postponed, probably to next year now, I think, that one. This is another one of my favourite styles. This is a vintage Vogue pattern, a suit. It's a jacket and skirt, and it's got, you probably can't see very easily from there, but it's got lots of lines of top stitching, lots of panels. It's really pretty. 1940 suit, covered buttons. That's a nice one. You got a bad connection today, Sally. That's unusual. You're normally not too bad with your connection. I think everyone's just on the internet all the time at the moment, aren't they? So it's a good excuse to dress up in our vintage style dresses yesterday. You'll see Amy's in a minute. She's got a lovely dress on today. I've written some notes and I can't remember my own writing now. Oh yes, I know I was going to say, what did you think of the sewing bee this week? I quite enjoyed it, I have to say. I really liked the little smock dresses. So Sally was ahead of the game with her smock dresses, but of course you did your smocking by hand, so much more involved. It was really beautiful. I don't know if any of you saw the picture of Sally's dress on it'll be on the Midhurst Sewers page. If not, I'll share it later. Beautiful in dark green with lovely smocking, and that's what they were recreating on the sewing bee this week. So I was having a go at the smocking actually. The one thing I thought with the smocking, I thought you had to take the gathering stitches out after you'd done the smocking stitch, but because that's how you make it stretchy. But anyway, it still looked really pretty. I wasn't so sure about the sleeping bag challenge. What did you think of that one? I mean, the bunch of grapes, well, I have to say, it was very clever.
That was my favourite. I thought it was quite stylish.
Yeah, that's almost a stylish sleeping bag costume, but Suzanne, till the sun goes down. Oh yes, till the sun goes down patterns. They have really nice skirts. They often have skirts on the bias. So the tops on the straight grain and the skirts on the bias. So you get a really nice fit, particularly into the back. So
Suzanne's talking about the skirt pattern you asked about.
Oh, the assembly line one. So you have to do quite a lot of alteration because I think the pocket's got pleats and pockets. So you really need to get the fit right to make that sit right, don't you? That one. So it'll be interesting to see that made up. So yeah, come on, tell me what you think of the sewing bee this week. Dungarees were good, weren't they? Lots of top stitching. Always good to practice top stitching. That's one of the things you liked, wasn't it, Ames?
I love the top stitching.
Top stitching. There's actually quite a lot of nice dungaree patterns for adults about at the moment as well, aren't there? So that'd be a good thing to try for adults as well. I think the right person went though. So it's interesting to see as they're sort of cutting down the numbers, you're getting to know them a bit better. Who's your favourites? What do you know? What you think? Oh, Sally, you did the pleat detail dress, didn't you? Sally wore her Till the Sun Goes Down dress yesterday, with the one with the lovely pleats at the front. My one of those is at Midhurst. I didn't bring that one back with me, otherwise I could have worn that today. Every time I think I've got something, it's at Midhurst, so I have to go back up and get it. Yeah, the splash dungarees were great. Oh yes, I think Sally's saying that the fold line, they do a little video after the sewing bee and they talk about all the patterns and things. That's really good, isn't it? So it gives you an idea of where you can get the patterns and your inspiration. The paint splash dungarees. That paint splash, I think, was a fine corduroy, wasn't it? Julie still wears her dungarees. Yes, I think dungarees are great. A few ladies were making dungarees just before the lockdown. We were having fun making dungarees with various different patterns. Or pinafore dresses is another version, isn't it? You've got the same sort of style but as a little dress. I think the comments are coming through a bit slow because Charlie's just saying you haven't mentioned the bee. I'm suddenly going to get a whole load of comments coming. I've got to keep up with them. Let me see what Suzanne says. Of course, yes, it was perfect for you, wasn't it, Suzanne? Because you make lots of children's clothes. I think the way they showed to do smocking on the sewing was a really good way of doing it. Actually, I know there's the way that Sally did it on her little children's dress was the proper traditional way of doing it with the pleating. Actually, she's got a pleating machine that did all the pleats gathers first and then did hand smocking over it. But doing it on the machine is a good option. Is that what they said? 6 patterns for kids dungarees, Sally? Wow, I just assumed there'd be lots. I feel like I need to check that out later. I'm sure there's more than 6. Hello, Barbara. Oh, good. I'm glad you got your parcel. Yeah, I hope everyone who placed orders after last week's live, I hope you all got your parcels this week. I did sort of rush up and try and get everything in the post as soon as possible for you, but you just never know with the post at the moment. I'm glad yours arrived, Barbara. You ordered lots of bits and pieces, didn't you? So that's good. It's really lovely outside today, actually. I can hear the birds singing. It's really nice. I'm sure Suzanne's got quite a few, dungaree patterns. So today, as we are, I was going to tell you, I told you about the PDFs, didn't I? So the other thing I've been looking at this week is the when we were supposed to go to New York, as you know, on our cruise next week, and one of the things I was really looking forward to was going to
next month.
Next month. July. I was looking forward to was going to the exhibition at the Met, because normally in May there's a big ball, the Met Gala ball. You know, we always have to have a look at all the clothes of the celebrities going to the Met Gala ball, and there's always a fantastic exhibition that follows, which I was really looking forward to going to in July, because often we miss that. It's only on for a very short period of time. Hi Sue. I'm not surprised you were sunbathing. Oh, and Julie's got all her bits and pieces, that's good. And Margaret, great. The exhibition at the Met, which is always an amazing exhibition if you happen to be in New York, but they've actually done a preview online, so you can have a look online at the Met Gala exhibition. It's called, what's it called? It's called About Time. So it's looking at fashion from historical times up to modern day, and how designers look at get influence from historical times. So you can see that on the Met Museum's website. But yeah, so hopefully they're gonna postpone it till October. So it's a fantastic exhibition. What? Oh, Catherine's watched the Lacy Knickers one. It is really easy, Catherine. The Lacy Knickers are great. They're a great thing to make. They're a great thing. I teach that at the shows all the time as well. So yeah, it's a really great thing. Really easy.
Saying what letter foot is the edge one?
Oh.
Hold the line.
Hold on, Amy's going to have a little look. I don't know if I've got that one in the machine here. I've got a feeling it's G. It's the one with a little brush on it. It's got, if it's a Janome, it's got 2 bars in the middle and a little brush. But if you've got a brother, it's mainly the 2 little bars in the middle. It's just the Janome brush.
Is
it G?
C.
Oh, C. There we go. It's C, the Janome foot. Shall I show it? I'll probably show it. There we go. So that's the one I use when I'm making lace knickers, because it allows you to stitch.
Ooh. I don't know if you can see that.
It allows you to stitch right on the edge of the fabric.
It was a bit blurry.
If you haven't got that foot, you can still stitch the knickers, but you'd have to stitch a little bit in from the edge and then trim off afterwards. So that is a great foot though. I was talking to a lady yesterday about making her scrubs, and she hasn't got an overlock, and it's the foot you would use with the overlock stitch on your sewing machine. Oh, Sally wants to make non-lace knickers. Now there are quite a few knicker patterns. I really like, I think it's Jaylee, J-A-I-L-L, Jaylee does some really nice knicker patterns. I'll look some up and I'll post about the knicker patterns actually. And I've got a really good, did a really good workshop a little while ago actually on drafting your own knickers, which is great because that's for your own measurements, and you make a really high-waisted pair. And then you can, once you've got that, it's like that's your sort of base, the high-waisted pair of knickers, and then you can change them. Sorry to any guys who are watching. We're talking about knickers. Oh, and Catherine's new machine arrived, and that foot's in it. Oh, that's great, because yes, I think I was mentioned last week about Janome having lots of special offers on their sewing machines at the moment. This month is a good time. And I know that some of them have got the extra pack with all the different machine feet and the quilting table that goes along as well. Oh, that's right, Susan. Flojo do knicker kits and knicker patterns, and Susan is saying that the works are selling their pattern, Flojo's book, and it includes 6 patterns. So there you go. I know
for
Flojo.
£4.
Yeah, that's a bargain. Yeah, it is a good way of using up scraps. Maybe I'll do that as a little online thing, making the knicker pattern. It's nice to be able to make it to your own measurements, isn't it? That foot is called the over edge foot.
Oh, sorry, I just kicked the camera.
That was Amy kicking the tripod.
Sorry.
I think it's called Julie, it's called the over edge foot, that one that I was talking about earlier. Or the edge stitch foot, over edge or edge. I'm sure that's what it's called as Bernina. It's called the edge stitch or over edge foot as well. But it's a very useful one, and I use it with the overlock stitch on the sewing machine. Hi Justine. I'm not surprised you're out in the garden. I saw a picture of Justine's lovely tea dress on Instagram yesterday. That was well worth it. It was lovely. I know you said it was quite complicated because it was a vintage pattern, and it was really pretty, really lovely. Well done. Right, what was I going to talk about next? I might do a demo next, I think. So talking about lots of vintage things at the moment, lots of vintage clothes would have a zip in the side, and that zip, if you're doing it a traditional way, would be a lapped zip. So you can replace it with a concealed zip. If you're wanting to go authentically, you would do a lapped zip. So I thought that's what I'd show you today, is how to do a lapped zip. So I'm just going to move my tea and biscuits out the way. I might just finish that because it'll go cold.
Classic.
Even a small cup of tea I can't finish.
I'm just going to move the camera.
Amy's going to bring in the close-ups now, so we can do. I might do 2 demos today, but the first one I wanted to talk to you about was a lapped zip. So a lapped zip is where the fabric just a bit like a trouser zip, but much neater. Right, so what are they saying? Strictly demo time.
Do they?
They do. I was actually on take 2 on the BBC 2 programme. They say demo time. So with any zip, like I've mentioned before, the first thing you need to do is cut strips of interfacing to go in the area that where your zip's going to go. So I normally do them about 1 inch wide and a little bit longer than the zip, and fuse those on. And then you're going to do you're going to mark where the length of your zip. So I want to put a 6-inch zip here. Now I'm going to use a zip that is longer than the area that we're putting it into. So I know, especially at this time at the moment, we might not have the right size zip. So I want to put a 6-inch zip in here. So 6 inches plus the seam allowance at the top. So 6 inches plus 5/8. There, and I've marked where the bottom of the zip will be. And then I've tacked along the seam allowance to this mark, and then I've machine stitched from this mark down. Okay, so that's all the preparation that you need to do. Once you've done that, you're then going to press open your zip, and again I've just marked where the bottom of the zip needs to go, so that I know where that's going to be. Next thing I'm going to do is place my zip. This is a normal dress zip. I'm going to place the zip. I wanted to get a really long one to demonstrate this really properly, but this is all I had at home here. Now the bottom of the zip is where, if you've got a metal zip, you'd have a big metal piece here, but where the stop of the zip needs to go where your mark is there. And I'm just going to pin it. I'm going to turn this round actually, otherwise I'm going to have my pins in the wrong way for myself. So there we go. I'm going to line up the bottom of the zip there, and make sure your zip is centered over your seam, and just pin it right on the edge there. One thing I forgot to mention is when you're doing a lapped zip, it's always a really good idea to have a much bigger seam allowance than you would normally have. So I've actually done a 2 centimetre seam allowance here, I think. Yes, I have 2 centimetres. So I've made a bigger seam allowance for the seam where my lapped zip is going to go. So I've just pinned that right on the edge. So obviously the zip pull is right out of the way there now. It's hanging over the top. Okay, I'm going to put the zipper foot on the machine. So this is just the traditional zipper foot. You should all have one of these. You may have noticed, I don't know what you might not have done, but a lot of my feet have got nail varnish on them, and that's because then I can keep my feet separate from those of the sewing room. So a lot of my feet are marked with a blue nail varnish. I'm going to put the zipper foot onto the machine. And when you're putting the foot onto the machine, people often say to me, how do I know which side to put the foot on? Well, always think that the big bulky part of the foot needs to be away from the zip. So I put it on the left hand side here because my zip is on the left. And I want to stitch right on the edge of the zip tape here. I'm going to make my stitch a bit bigger just so that it goes a bit quicker here. I might give myself the pressure of doing live demos.
Zips as well.
I know, I thought that last week. I got halfway through last week and thought, what am I doing? Oh, Janet says she recognises the name of where we live because her uncle used to live here. Sorry, I mustn't get distracted during a demonstration. especially when Amy's trying to hold the camera still.
Yeah, it's quite heavy.
Okay, then just stitch the top, and then I'm going to cut the thread. Okay, so that's stitched right on the edge. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is turn the zip back and place the fold, make the fold of the fabric go close to the teeth here. So can you
It's quite hard to see the zip actually.
Can you see the zip teeth are here? So I've just folded the zip back. I should have got a different, well, it's the only zip I had, unfortunately. Otherwise I would have used a different colour. Fold the zip back so that the fabric goes, there we go, next to the teeth. Okay, so you have a little bit of folded fabric all the way along here. Charlie 7, never do live demos with children or animals.
Or sewing machines.
Or sewing machines. Yeah. So now, once that's pinned, I want to stitch close to that folded edge now. So I'm going to go back to the machine and stitch close to that folded edge. Oh, now I'm just going to stop there. I just didn't follow my own rule. So the largest part of the foot needs to be away from the zip. So I need to swap that over. And do that. There we go. There you go. So I hope that makes the rule make more sense now. So I'm stitching right on the edge of the fold all the way up. I hope I am. Okay. Didn't have my wrist pin cushion on today. Okay, so that's stitched in place. Now I'm going to open this up. And what happens when you do that little bit of stitching there, it allows the zip to fall over to the other side, like that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to put a couple of holding pins in, without pinning to my tablecloth. And I want to mark where the bottom of the zip is. And then turn over. And now I want to mark my top stitching line. So I know I want to come straight across here where the bottom of the zip is, there. And let's have a measure of where that pin is. That's probably about 1.5 centimetres, I think, where that pin is. So I'm going to mark, so I'm using a friction pen because I know that'll come off of this calico, but when you're marking on the right side, make sure that whatever you're using is going to come off of your fabric. I know particularly some people, oh, Sally's saying this is the second demo of a lapped zip she's watched, and this is different. Well, now you can decide which one you like. I know we all do things slightly differently. Okay, so I've marked where I want to do my stitching. I'm going to re-pin from this side. You could tack it if you wanted to as well. And make sure I take this pin out of the bottom as well. Now when you're stitching, when you're doing your top stitching, always start stitching here and go across and turn and go up. If you come this way, you might get a little tuck at the bottom here. So we're going to start stitching here and go all the way up. So again, I'm going to make sure the biggest part of my foot is away from the zip. So I'm going to turn the zip on the other side. Here. I'm going to start stitching in the middle. Just going to go back a bit so I'm right on the seam. And go really slow because I know even though I've gone below the base of the zip there, after some little chunky bits, and the last thing I want to do is live on camera break a needle. I might just do one more stitch there. If you're worried about going into a corner, you're going to be slightly off, you can always raise the needle and then just move the fabric slightly so that you're going to be right in the right place for your corner. Turn around and then come up this line here. There we go. Now you'll see that because I've had the top of the zip out of the way, I haven't had to do any of that worrying about going around the chunky bit at the top. So that's my zip. Let's just trim this thread. I'm now going to take the tacking stitches out. And you know I like to tack by hand because I feel that they come out nice and easily. And then I do it live on and they don't come out easily. No, they come out nice and easily. So there we go. And that is your lapped zip. Now you can have the lap going either way. So what I would suggest now the thing is that you've got a waistband or a facing going on here. So don't trim these bits off until you put your waistband and facing on. But once you've stitched across here, then that's all going to be held in place. You could do a little bit of tacking across the top there if you're worried, but yeah, as long as you don't trim these off until you've put your waistband or facing on, that's all perfectly in place. So there you go, a lapped zip. Did that all make sense, everybody? I hope it did. Amy's saying it did.
I'm learning so much at the moment. All this filming I'm doing.
So when you want to put a lapped zip in, you'll know what to do. Be interesting to know what the difference is between the other one you watched, Sally. So then, and if I press that, all those little lines will disappear. So there we go, a lapped zip. I must tag Jen in that because Jen asked me for a lapped zip.
She did
a while ago, and I don't know if she's watching today, but thank you, Janet. I hope that made sense. Now, as we're talking vintage, the other thing I wanted to demo to you today was a bound buttonhole. Most vintage dresses, and you can use machine ones obviously, but a lot of vintage dresses have bound buttonholes, and you'll see in a minute on Amy's dress why I wanted to demo this. And a bound buttonhole is a really nice option because you can choose a contrast fabric. I just realised I've marked on the wrong side. I'm just going to mark this. So the first thing I'm going to do this, a bound buttonhole is where you have a contrast fabric covering the edges of the buttonhole. And this is my favourite way of doing it. So I'm going to do this slightly bigger than if it was actually a buttonhole in a dress, because that would be really tiny. But it's good to practice the techniques on something that's a little bit bigger. Thank you, Barbara. I hope that makes sense. It's very nice to do a lapped zip in the side of a dress, especially a vintage style dress. So on the front of your garment, you would have the, you need to do 2 lines of marking for the width of your button. So your centre front would probably be a little bit further in than that, but just where you want your button to go. So this is the width of my button. Oh, Sally's saying she loved that. Oh, okay, I'd like to know about that one. That's again for attaching the waistband as well. So similar, you know, I did a little thing for showing how to deal with the top of the zip as well. Yes, I mustn't get distracted. It's terrible because I want to see what you're all saying. It's so nice. So I have interfaced my piece of fabric. Whenever you're doing a sample of any technique, always prepare your fabric as if it's in your garment so that you know it's going to work on your particular garment. So I've marked up where I want my buttonhole to go, and the fabric I've got is interfaced. And then I'm going to use this piece of navy fabric. Might have been a bit of a leftover bunting piece. A bit of navy fabric, and I've interfaced that as well. And I've done the same thing. I've marked the width of the buttonhole and the length of it here. And then I've marked 2 more lines, which are, this is the lips of the buttonhole, or the welts of the buttonhole. And I've done mine here about 1 centimetre, but obviously on a dress, they'd probably only be about 3 millimetres. They'd be much smaller. But just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to make sure these 2 fabrics need to be right sides together. I'm just going to put a pin through so I know that they're exactly on top of each other. Okay. So you would know that your welt fabric's in the right place. And once you've got them pinned, you're then going to stitch around the outside here. Always start stitching in the middle of one of the long ends here. So start stitching here and make sure you're really accurate on the corners. And I tend to go around once at stitch length 2.2, and then go around again at stitch length 2. So you're going around twice, so it's nicely reinforced. So that's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to put my normal foot back on the machine for this. And stitch around the buttonhole. Sorry, Ames. Sorry. I'm just going to move my pins a bit further out the way so that they're not going to catch me when I'm turning corners. I'm going to put the stitch length down to 2.2 to start off with. And make sure it's not one of those things I'm thinking, why am I doing this live? I've got to be really accurate on the corners. And then turn. When you're doing this on buttonholes on your garment, because they're so small, I would count how many stitches you do on the short ends, so you know exactly how many you're doing, and you can do it manually just by turning the balance wheel. And then go round and up this end. Maybe I should have done this bit as a here's what I've done earlier. This was Amy saying to me just before we came on air, because she's got down buttonholes on her lovely dress. I'm going to go around again at 2. You should demonstrate bound buttonholes.
Sorry. It's a good demo.
So I'm going round again, making sure really accurate so you're turning on exactly the same place. If you're worried that your stitch is not going to turn on the right place, you can just manually move the fabric. Okay. Round to the next end. And up the short edge. No pressure at all.
Doing very well.
Okay. Right, so I've stitched round my little square twice. Now I'm going to cut down the middle and into the corners. So I'll just draw that on there so you can see what I'm going to do. And it's really important that you snip right into those corners. I'm going to fold it in half first of all. Make sure your lines are on top of each other when you do that, so that you're not cutting a wonky line. And then into the corners. As close as you can. I'm just checking you weren't zooming in on me when I'm doing.
I'm not. I'm not that mean.
Everyone's gone very quiet again.
Because they're watching.
And into the corner. There, like that. So once you've done that, you're going to tuck the fabric through. And all the way through to the other side. And make sure that this little opening is nice and smooth. Now you can, I don't know if you can see, but I've got some little creases on my corners, which means I haven't snipped. Wendy will know this. I haven't snipped far enough into my corners. But I'm just going to go a little bit further into the corners and then give it a press. So I know that Amy's just put the iron on for that very reason. Okay. Well, Catherine's asking about scissor sharpener. I've never been able to find one that works well. I always take my scissors to be sharpened. I use a place in Chichester. There we go, that's better. I haven't got so many little creases now. So I'm going to get Amy to give that a quick press, just a very light press, because it's quite bouncy. Now I think I can see already that I haven't cut my square of fabric big enough. So as I say, it was a last minute request from Amy, but I'll show you the principle. Make sure your squares are big enough.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because what you need to do now is fold these bits back to the middle, and then this needs to come back, and it should stick further over. And that'll look nice from the right side, but it won't be quite right on the wrong side. So I'm going to just do that and turn it over like that. So what you need to do is make sure that your pieces are matching in the middle, like this, and you can give it another press or you can pin it. Yeah, you can. I've got the Prim scissors that I have on my website are very good for. They're all it's the Kai blades, I think. They're very good blades, and they do snip very well into corners. So I'm just going to fold this over like this, so you can see they match really nicely in the middle. And then what you would do, I'm just going to put a couple of pins in, is tack this. There we go. Okay, so what you would do now is lift these edges up here, and you're going to stitch the triangles on top of the pleats there. So I'm just going to do that. Don't worry about moving the camera for this, Ames, because it's very quick. I'm just going to stitch this really quickly across the triangles on each end. And once you've done that, then you can just going across the little triangles. There we go.
Catherine's saying, would this type of buttonhole be good for the blazer?
Yes, it would.
It would look
lovely on the blazer. Yes, it would look lovely.
Because it would nicely match the welt pockets.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. You could do the same contrast or something.
Yeah, the same you can use the same technique for the welt pocket. So what you would do is stitch across the triangles on each side, and then with a needle and thread, just do a little stitch in the ditch all the way round. So, and that will just hold the fabric in place from the other side. So I'm just going to knot that, like a little tiny back stitch all the way around. Oops. And I have seen these done, I'm just going to start here because I want to show you a little bit about the corners. I have seen this done by machine, but you know I like to do this by hand. So come up right in the ditch, and then when you get to the corners, it's a really tiny little back stitch. I'm going to do a couple of big stitches here, but take your time on this because it makes it really nice and neat. Come up in the corner, come up right in the corner there, and then go straight back down, so you're really only catching a couple of threads. I don't know if you can see this. Is it okay, Ames? Can you see it? And then give it a little pull, and that will give make your corners really nice and square. So there you go, that's a bound buttonhole, and then you give it all a nice press and it's all perfect. So I hope that was helpful. That's my demos done for today. 2 demos today.
Wow, aren't they lucky?
These will be some of the things that we're adding to the sample portfolio as well, all these sort of things. Lots of samples to be getting on with. So yeah, if you're doing dresses or blazers, jackets, coats, and you can use contrast fabric. I've used lining fabric as the welts on the bound buttonhole, so it looks really nice. You could use matching fabric as well. So I hope that was helpful. 2 demos, as I say. Hope it all made sense. Do ask me any questions if nothing did make sense, because I know it's difficult when you're doing lives to watch it. But I'm going to get Amy to come in now so you can see why I wanted to show you bound buttonholes today.
Ooh.
Amy's all dressed up as well.
Hello. I mean,
Oh, Amy,
can't
get in.
No, we didn't test that. So this is my vintage dress, which has pockets.
Of course.
And some of you ladies from the sewing room might have seen me make this last year. I made it for Goodwood Revival. And yeah, it's got little buttons that go sort of in an asymmetric there, and they're little bound buttonholes,
There you go, you see.
teeny bound buttonholes, and covered buttons, and I did them in the red contrast that I used on the cuff here. Yeah, this is a Vogue, vintage Vogue pattern.
It's really pretty.
I
Really
love
lovely neckline, isn't it?
Yeah, I love
Lovely.
this neckline.
We were just saying it's so nice to get dressed up today again.
Yeah, I
isn't it?
love this dress, and it's actually, this dress was really, it was one of the advanced Vogue patterns, so it was really challenging, but I love a challenge. And it's got an internal, I'm not going to show you, but it's got an internal petticoat sewn in, made from calico, so that it sticks out. And it's got a sort of a grosgrain belt inside, so it really
waist
cinches
stay.
you in. Yeah, a waist stay, yeah. Thank you, Janet.
Yeah, it's such a lovely neckline.
Yeah, I
isn't it?
really love it. It's really flattering. And
fabric from...
fabric is from Bloomsbury Square, of course.
It's just a lovely cotton, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice cotton fabric. Yeah. Yeah, so this is my lovely vintage dress. I was saying this morning, I wish we could wear dresses like this every day.
Yeah.
I would make it over and over again.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah,
and
I
it is
really
nice.
love
We
it.
don't know what's going to happen with the revival this year, so whether
No.
this might be the only chance we get to wear our vintage dresses this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we normally go, because I'm normally working at revival, so I'm there every day and get a chance to dress up every day.
I know. And then I just go and drink champagne.
Yeah. Jesus, we had tea today.
Any excuse to drink
We've been
champagne.
good today,
Oh, I
haven't
forgot
we?
my tea.
Amy had a cup and saucer as well to bring.
I did. Pockets on dresses.
Yeah, this
Very important.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
It
it's very
is.
important to have a pocket. Love it.
It is very important.
You should wear dresses every day, Bob
Yeah.
says. Yeah, why can't we?
Yeah, I think we should.
Let's wear a lovely dress every day.
I think also we've just sort of come out of winter and then we've stayed at home, so we haven't been getting dressed up to go
No.
out. Whereas normally we'd be, maybe we were going out putting dresses on. So I think, yeah, I'm going to get my dresses out now the weather's nice.
Yeah, just to wear around the house
Yeah.
with the slippers.
Yeah, it's like the cocktail dresses when we wore our cocktail dresses.
It's nice to dress up.
Yeah, with us. Look at it, it's going to be so hard to go back into proper shoes.
I know. I did have to wear some shoes because I've been doing blogs for Victoria, so I had to take some pictures of various things that I was blogging about, and I did have to put on some heels.
Oh my goodness.
I know, I forgot how to walk in heels. So yeah. So what have I been doing? Well, my week has been a bit mental because I decided on Monday that I needed to earn a bit of cash because, you know, I can't really event plan right now. So I set up an Etsy shop selling masks, and I have been inundated with mask orders. And they're all in like sort of little scraps of fabrics that I've had, lots of different cottons, and yeah, I mean I've been making hundreds of masks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so people who can't sew, obviously all of you can sew, so you can all make your own masks.
You can make your own masks, but if you don't want to make masks for all your family and friends, then do direct them to my Etsy shop.
Oh my god, we've got to catch up with this week's
Oh,
orders.
that's true. Yeah, I had a lot of orders in yesterday, so that's what I've been doing. And obviously we were filming Couture, and yeah, so I still haven't made my second Sienna maker jacket.
No.
Because I've been making masks. But hopefully I can catch up on the orders and then I can make my second jacket.
Yeah.
Because it's all cut out and ready to go.
Yeah,
it's just sat on the back of the sofa at the moment.
It's all ready to
Ready
go.
to go.
I know,
Yeah.
and I'd like to make something. I'm loving doing the couture, but I need to make myself a new dress. I need a new dress. Since we wear dresses.
Yes, I found some really beautiful.
What's to do?
Where's my silk? Oh, it's in the hall. I found. I was cleaning or tidying and found my most recent stash that I bought in New York in January when we were visiting.
Well, we weren't supposed to buy.
We weren't supposed to, but we didn't buy anything. But apart from some things, I found this really beautiful Anna Sui silk that I'd bought from Mood Fabrics in New York, and I've got a really nice Deer and Doe pattern that I just had arrive. Deer and Doe also do PDF, so I was able to buy the PDF and I got them printed from Patternsy, and they came really fast actually, didn't they?
Isn't it? Yeah.
So there's a really lovely dress. I think it's called the Magnolia dress, but that's going to be my next make, and I'm going to use that beautiful silk as well. So I'll show you hopefully Maybe not next week. I'm not going to put a deadline on it because I'm rubbish at hitting deadlines right now.
The weeks, I mean, we're finding the weeks, going.
They are flying past. Where you have your scissors sharpened.
Oh, I get my scissors sharpened when, it's a shear repairers in Chichester in, what's the name of the street?
It's the one with the pie shop.
Yeah, it's with the Cornish pasty shop.
Just off North Street.
Off North Street. I can't remember the name of the shop. There's the hairdressers and there's the Cornish pasty shop. There's a little road there. And there's a shear repairers there and they sharpen your scissors for, pennies. They're really good, but obviously I don't suppose they're open at the moment.
Quite a lot of shoe repairers do scissor sharpening.
Yeah, but that one particularly are really good. I don't know if anyone else knows of any other places, but in Chichester, that's where I take all my scissors.
Where are your blog posts to be found? They will be on Bloomsbury Square's website. I'm not sure if she's uploaded them yet because I sent her quite a lot of pictures for her to go through. So they will be getting put up onto Bloomsbury Square. And where did you say you get PDFs?
Crane Street.
Crane Street.
The scissor shop's in Crane Street. Thank you, Sally. Susan, sorry. Yeah, and Susan.
So the PDFs, we use either Net Printer or Patternzy. And
have you got one there?
Yeah,
Patternzy do print out on a very nice, fine sort of
this
tissue
is my
paper.
latest delivery from Patternzy.
Is that the one you're going to make?
This is, there's 3 patterns actually that I got done, but they come in a really nice, they're all printed with your name on, so they're specifically for you. And basically what you do is you work out how many A0 or A1 sheets it would be, and you put in how many it is, and then you send them, you upload your file, they work it out for you, and it was really cheap. It was something like, I don't know, I can't remember how much it was, but it comes on this really lovely tissue paper, like a sort of a traditional pattern. Net Printer, also, sometimes I find it a bit difficult to do the upload. I can't always upload the patterns and the files, but they print on paper, proper paper. So it depends whether you like the tissue or the paper. And actually, they printed my instructions as well. So this is a Deer and Doe shirt pattern that I've had, that I bought as well because I needed a new shirt. And it's got, look, this is going to be nice. It's got a band around here with pleats in the front. So
lots of shirt making techniques in that one. So
really Patternzy or Net Printer. Not that I would be buying material. Wendy.
But not midnight shopping, Wendy.
Aww.
No midnight fabric shopping. Can't believe it.
I can't believe it either.
No.
I thought I would have got through my stash by now, to be honest, but we've been too busy.
No, I can't believe it. I haven't had time to do it.
Patternsy's Sally Scott's favourite,
yeah.
Us too. I really like it, and they're so professional, and they're really lovely, and it's just a couple. It's a nice. They're a married couple with their little business printing patterns, sewing patterns.
Yeah, and they're great. They always contact you. Any problems, they always get in touch.
They send you a little email, and they're really good.
Oh, when do you want to find the blog?
But how do I find your blog? It will be on Bloomsbury Square, Wendy. As soon as it's uploaded, I'll share it on the Midhurst Sewers page. As soon as Victoria's uploaded them.
So Victoria was busy dressing up as a land girl yesterday. She looked fantastic. I just popped round to see her, and she looked brilliant. And all the house was all decorated in bunting.
Yeah,
she'd been making scones and delivering them around the village. So
village life.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what we're going to do this week. Is try and do some more.
I think we need to do some personal sewing.
Yeah, other than
I think that's what we need to do. We work so hard at the moment, don't we? We're working constantly, so we're not really doing anything for ourselves. So yeah.
Oh, I did some technology all by myself. I was very pleased. I did. I worked out how to embed YouTube videos onto my website. So if you go onto my website, obviously you can watch all the tutorials on the YouTube channel, but I've started up embedding them onto the website as well. So if you go onto the website and you look for free tutorials, the videos are all there. I was very proud of myself for doing that.
I was very proud of you too. Yeah. She doesn't even need me anymore. She's doing her own filming and her own uploading videos and voiceovers and all sorts. She's very techy. She did a voiceover for the latest Couture session, a
voiceover over a PowerPoint presentation, I'll have you know.
And then exported it as a video. I was very shocked. She's a lot more techie than she makes out, honestly.
New skills.
Yeah, we're learning new skills all the time. I'm now a film editor. I'm learning Photoshop, film editing.
Yes, you did the Photoshop thing this week.
Yeah. So it's all new.
All
Maybe
good.
we'll come out of this and we won't want to go back to our normal jobs. No, I will. I really miss my job.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss my job. I miss the sewing. Every time I go up there and it's all empty, I feel very sad. So yeah, so I really miss it. Let's just move on. Let's see what.
Yeah, let's not get sad.
Yeah. Suzanne's been buying fabric. Sally's bought fabric. Now, yes, I do remember, Sally, you said you weren't going to buy any fabric, but I think
at the beginning of lockdown, Sally
it's
said
a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's all been cancelled now. So, and I still haven't worked out how to buy from Colville. I need to try and work that out. I thought I'd send them a message saying I wanted to buy some. So Colville Fabrics are our Facebook fabric shop, and they put up fabrics, and you just send them a message and say you'd like to buy it, and they send you a PayPal invoice. But I haven't done it yet, but Sally has. So
I'm being very restrained because I keep seeing some very nice fabrics popping up on all of those different people that we follow on Instagram. So
yeah, ditto. I've got some nice fabrics.
So Fabric Godmother.
Yeah.
There's lots of nice summery fabrics coming out.
I know, but I know if we look in our stash,
we've got
lots of summery
fabrics.
It was
quite funny when we were looking for fabrics to make masks from. It was amazing how much fabric we had everywhere. Like suddenly, oh look, there's a metre of this and a metre of that, and so I now have 27 different patterns and shades of masks.
Yes.
Options.
I think you buy like a bit of nice cotton to do pockets or something like that. So
you've got some left over.
Yeah.
Sally said it's very easy. Take a screenshot of what you want, send to Mark Massey, and give.
Yeah, I thought I'd done that. I'm gonna have to have a one-to-one with you, Sally, to learn how to do that.
Use Messenger.
I'll have to try it out because he had some really nice scuba the other day, and I thought I was just outside looking for bunting. You found scuba? I found some scuba that I bought from Rosenberg's.
Oh, when? It's our little confessions sometimes. We're like, I just found this fabric.
Where did that come from?
It happens a lot. Oh, I also found another purchase from New York. Is some denim.
Oh, yeah.
This is from one of my favourite shops in New York, Elegant Fabrics, and they do amazing denims in every colour you can think of. So every time I go, so this is a really nice stretchy denim. So I'm going to make some ginger jeans because I love the ginger jeans in those, and my Levi's have sort of had it now, so I need to replace my classic Levi's.
That's interesting because I think that's the same denim that I made my ginger jeans in, and I was wearing them yesterday, and they look so faded now.
Oh,
so I was going to make some new jeans as well.
Yeah. I think they look better when they're faded though.
They do.
They look forewarning.
I like making jeans.
Yeah. So. Anyway, that was a rant. A ramble.
Yeah, we had a ramble. That was a ramble.
I can't even talk anymore.
Need some more tea.
Yeah. I haven't had a coffee yet.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's probably. Have we got anything else to talk about this
I don't think so.
So.
Anna Wintour, you've written on your thing there.
Oh, Anna, that was to do with the Met. That was to do with the. That was to do with the Met Museum because there's a. The exhibition at the Met and the Met Gala Ball are organised by, Anna Wintour, the editor of American Vogue, is also the organiser of one of the organisers of the Met Gala Ball, and there's a really good video about her setting it all up. There's also a really good film, actually, I think it's on Netflix, called First Monday in May, which is all about the build up to the Met Gala Ball and how it all came about. So that's a really good one to watch.
You've got to do your Anna Wintour class.
I have, yes.
I bought Mum a masterclass with Anna Wintour for Christmas. What's my Etsy name? It's called Tyler Creative Studio. That's my Etsy shop. An online shop for ginger jeans.
Yes,
we've talked about that.
Yeah, we were going to do that, weren't we? So maybe we'll do that.
We've
both got denim, so we could do that and make some jeans. And we'll do that, Marilyn. We'll do a ginger jeans version because that was one.
Get the twin needle out again.
Oh yes.
Twin top stitching needle.
Yes,
such fun.
That was a good one.
Did you think the winner of the Project Runway was the right one?
Now,
yes.
Yes, we did. Yes.
So me and Mum have a theory that we often call it. We are watching these shows, and in sort of episode 1, 2, we have a favourite, and it tends to usually be our favourite, or either makes it to the final or wins. And he was our favourite right all the way through. We really loved him.
That's not Project Runway. That's Making the Cut. Is that Making the Cut? You're talking about Project Runway.
Project Runway. Both of them. We called both of them actually.
We did actually.
Both of them. We really liked the guys from the beginning. It's usually the kind of rock star, rocky guy who's quite emotional.
Had a tough life.
Had a tough life. Been trying to make it. They're a bit older. They're in sort of their late 30s, 40s. So they've been working in the industry since they were teenagers, and then they finally make it, and they're always a bit edgy, and they're the ones that usually win.
So far.
Yeah, we get it right a lot. Psychic, we loved him.
Sally would like a basic trouser watch. I think a trouser watch would be very good.
Making the Cut. Yes, Making the Cut as well. Yeah, we liked him right from the beginning.
Yeah,
we
really good.
We really did.
So Sally would like a trouser workshop and a jeans workshop. So because they are my classic ones that I would normally do at Midhurst, and I always cover some basic pattern cutting and pattern fitting things as well. So I think we could do that. It'd be a nice one to do.
Suzanne did like Esther as well. Yeah, we did, and we did say that we would be happy with either of them to win, didn't we?
Too much black though.
It was very black. Yeah, and when she did use colour, she didn't quite use it in the right way.
Oh, Leanne's waiting from Washington.
Oh, hi Leanne.
It was not a bit too much.
So who will win the B? I'm going to say Peter.
Yeah, I quite like Peter. I think I need to watch it a couple more times. There's so many in this particular episode, isn't there? So I'm still not sure. I do like what's the name of the goth girl? I quite like her though.
The goth girl.
The punky girl. the punk. I can't remember their names. I'm terrible. I'm normally really good at names, but
you need to do your homework.
Yeah, I do. I'll go and watch it again and study.
I'm calling Peter.
Yeah, the girl with the that's puts the end of everything.
Yeah,
Peter. I like Peter. What does everyone else think?
Who's going to win? Who's going to win the B? It's too early to say.
I think it's too early to say.
Anything can change.
Especially when they've just been making children's clothes, and it's so out of most people's comfort zones. You can't really tell with children's clothes, can you?
Can't find Tyler Creative Studio on Etsy UK.
Design Studio.
I will put it's not. It's creative. I'll put the link on Midhurst Sellers. Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. There's quite a lot of people selling masks on Etsy now. Yeah. So, we'll sort that out. So, I think that's all we've got to talk about today, isn't it? Have we got anything else to talk about?
I often find the way it's edited, the person who wins doesn't feature too much.
Yeah, because I actually really like Therese as well.
They usually feature in each episode. You see a lot of the person that's going to get booted out.
Yeah.
So that seems to happen in all of those programs, doesn't it? Whenever we're watching something like Project Runway, they'll be showing a lot of one person, and we're like, oh no, they're gonna go. They're showing them lots.
Suzanne needs need a bit more time to decide, don't we? I think next couple of weeks, especially when they start making more adult clothes, because a lot of it's to do with the fit and the finish, and who we like. I really thought Therese was going to go this week because she's really good.
Bless her, she just had a nightmare with that
I think she's a
dress.
really good sewer.
Yeah, I really like her. I think she'd fit in well in our sewing room. I think she'd like us.
So I think that's all we've got for you this week. We're going to carry on filming more things. We'll put more things on YouTube. We're still working on our online classes. I've got samples of stuff everywhere. Just need to put more together and film them for you. Do let us know if there's anything else you'd like me to demonstrate next week. I've got to go because I can feel my voice going. I'm losing my voice. So if there's anything you'd like us to demonstrate next week, we'll come back again next Saturday. We'll keep doing this while we can. It's so nice to keep up with everybody and see what you're all doing.
I need to go. Sorry. Okay. Bye everyone. Every week. Just sitting there thinking. Sitting there thinking someone else is going to press the button.
Get remote control. We need more staff.
Yeah.
So it's been really lovely catching up with you all this week. I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Keep the bunting up because I think it's lovely. And we'll see you all again next week. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.